Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Northeast Kansas. Wow, I actually got the name right for once. This very rarely happens. This afternoon's scene is going to be set in, you know what? Because it seems to be the place where it all happens. It's going to be set in Gage Park after nightfall. As a matter of fact, quite late in the evening, as Triori Apeluda and his squire Igor or Olaf von Bagen do their nightly patrol in order to make sure that there's nothing infringing upon the border marches and all of that other generally unpleasant stuff. They're making their way down through one of the unlit main thoroughfares through one of the lit main thoroughfares of the park, having a casual conversation as the scene begins. I don't care what anyone else says. I maintain the quality of alcohol has gone downhill since the 50s.
Oh, maybe here in America, but you gotta understand vodka has gotten better. And by better I mean you can drink it without belching flames. But it's not really better.
There's a kind of a quirked eyebrow at that. I'm not exactly sure. I rather like my palate being where it is and not gasping for life. But then again, perhaps you have a stronger stomach than I do.
Not so strong as Redcaps, though. Now they can put away alcohol. Though they never get drunk off of it, so must not be very fun to do.
You're not wrong. You're legitimately not wrong. Triori stops by a bench, and he opens up, his his satchel that he's wearing across his shoulder, and he takes out he takes out a scroll and kind of weighs it down with the satchel case, and starts looking around. He says, "I wonder. It would make sense, I suppose, that this area is still a lush, green, verdant place in the center of the city. Were there to be some kind of freehold or some other conduit of power here, I just wonder where it is."
Yeah. If we go into the dreaming, we may find it better there. I doubt
Possibly.
looking at it through this place with these mortal eyes will do it.
You're possibly right. But yes, needless to say, our preparations come along well for our departure into the dreaming on our latest quest to find my lost items. So we should, with any luck, be able to commence that at some point in the middle of next week.
I don't know that we'll be ready by the middle of next week for that, though.
I beg your pardon?
You said that we were gonna start looking for people, didn't you? Or did I hear you wrong?
No. We're going into the dreaming on a quest next week in order to basically find some lost items of mine.
Well, it should be interesting, but the deep dreaming is not a very fun place to go.
No. I would not go there save for incredible need, but I believe the need is great. So we will go.
What are you searching for? It can't not be raw materials, can it?
No.
To make an item?
No. A very long time ago, I placed something of mine in the deep dreaming. I cannot exactly remember where I left it or what I left to guard it, but I placed something there. And I intend to have it back. It's a staff, rather important and powerful. But as well as that, It has sentimental value to me.
I have a hammer. Very old. Not to be used anymore, but I keep it around anyway.
Indeed. So you understand the sentimentality one can weave up in an item. How important it can be to one. But needless to say, this is not just an old thing. This was something of quite significant power that I knew I needed to have put away for safekeeping until such time as I needed it again. I only wish I knew why I needed to put it away. I can't seem to recall.
Perhaps you did something with it and angered someone.
Anything's possible. There are large gaps in my memory, but then again, that is to be expected, I suppose.
Let's just hope you did not sodomize someone in power with it. That would.
He quirks an eyebrow. Sodom. Well, in the good old days when I used to be the High Sorcerer to the High King, I'm not exactly sure that many of the dukes and duchesses would have taken kindly to being asked to bend over and cough.
No, probably not. Which is why they would be very angry if that item showed up again.
Yes, perhaps. Be on the lookout, by the way, for this were creature that's supposedly stalking this place. I'd at least like to know if what the Puka says is true, but then again, you can never trust their ilk.
I have large hammer.
You do possess rather a large hammer.
You know, that's what she said.
Oh, the puns.
I know. However, that one never gets old to me.
You're allowed to think that. You genuinely are.
I don't know much about these werewolves other than, trolls and certain I think they were Fenrir got along way back when. Should I be stockpiling some type of weapon now?
He'll stroke his chin thoughtfully, and he'll say, I honestly don't know. This Justin character appears to be somewhat shaky. And as I said, nightmares followed him as if he were one of their own. But I met two others that day, and they seemed to be more agreeable. By the way, Kim, before you roll up with Ash, question, what is his banality? Because it might be something we have to tabulate.
Shit, dude, ask me all the hard questions right after I wake up from a nap.
Was it a delightful nap?
It was. Like, I meant for it to only be like 10 minutes, but it was like 8:30, and when I woke up, it was like 10:50.
So that is a decent Kim nap.
It's not as long as my usual naps, but...
Right, so let's go to the book. The band. Where did they record Bane?
He's like Banality 9.
Okay. Are you?
Yeah, vampires are base 8, and then he's got computers at 4 or higher.
Oh, lordy.
At least he doesn't have a banal profession. Because he doesn't have a profession, to be honest with you.
He's a hacker. That's a pretty banal profession.
It's not all he does.
Okay, that's fair. So, would you like to intro then?
Sure. Um, hold on, I gotta sneeze. What's a yawn?
If it helps, you yawn adorably.
No, I don't. Get that talk out of here. Boy. Nah. Okay. Okay. Shut up. Okay. Yes. A guy wearing a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat with a mask, or not a mask, but like a scarf over his face. Which, by the way, considering this is Kansas in the middle of summer, you know that road probably got to be a little hot. So it's a little sideways. It's like double sideways. A little weird. It's also got a very, 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 very large Great Dane. And would he have? Yes, probably. There's probably a kitten poking a head out of one of his pockets.
Traori has never met Ash, has he? Don't think he has.
Nope.
Okay. The two changeling. Well, Traori will look up from his notes as he's kneeling on the ground, and will spy the person walking their dog. He won't give them much notice until they get in sight, and he sees how perplexingly they're dressed. At which point he kind of nudges Olaf and gives a head jerk in their general direction.
A stranger comes up in trench coat. I don't think he carries hammer under trench coat though.
Unlike you.
Correct.
Traori will stand up and he will he'll walk to the other side of the path. So basically, so Ash has to pass between both him and Igor or Olaf in order to get past.
Hell to the no.
I beg your pardon.
Stupid.
What?
Just nah. Because the changelings have been attacking every fucking body. He doesn't know y'all changelings, but he still doesn't want to get jumped. God, no. So he will just walk.
I will put out the changelings have not been jumping everyone. Remember, it was the gangrel who almost jumped us.
Bullshit. We ain't getting on this right now. So he will just walk off of the path and walk around both of you.
What an interesting dog you have there. You will get called after.
Thank you.
You know what? Traori's going to walk towards you. I'm going to make an animal ken roll, because the fuck, why not? Does it being a ghoul dog affect the animal ken roll, or does it not? Do you know, Kim?
I don't think so. The only thing with being a ghoul dog is, they have potence, and their aura is splotchy.
He got one success, so the dog is not, quailing away. If anything, he might let him pet him.
Ollie ain't no bitch. He wasn't about to move away anyway. Ollie's a thug. And Ollie is always up for pets, thank you. He's the nicest dog you will ever meet.
Okay, so Traori will walk up and pet the dog. Isn't he, white, I seem to recall?
He's got polka dots. Let me find this picture. Where is it?
I need Ollie's picture in my life, because he is made of adorable. Look at how adorable! I want to... Kim, out of character, I want to love this dog. I want to love this dog to the face.
But it is Ash's dog. You cannot do that.
But, he will, kind of quirk an eyebrow as he comes this close to Ash as he is, he will be kneeling on the ground, obviously getting your banality full force. So he continues to play with the dog. Is Ash letting him play with the dog?
Ash is giving him a bit of a look, but like he's not stopping him or anything. It's just like you just walked up and without asking started playing with somebody's dog. It's a little sideways, but Ash is not. Ash ain't that bitch. She'll just be like, bro, fuck you though. Okay, actually, he kind of is, but like, that's not the point here.
Without looking up from where he's kneeling, he will say, "So, how long have you been dead then?"
Excuse me?
You're not alive. But this is a delightful dog.
I mean, that's a rude thing to say. You might hurt my feelings.
The last time I felt a static reality like yours, it was around a boy who got down on his hands and knees and barked like a dog.
Shin, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
I fucking do it so bad!
I think you mean you found someone insane. Yes? No normal person get down on the ground and bark like dog.
He will. He's still on his hands and or on his knees, playing with the dog, and he will say, "I don't know. He barked like a dog. He turned into a wolf, tried to attack the Baron, was frightened off." He kind of looks up and quirks an eyebrow. "Perhaps you can answer a question for me, random sir."
Oh, see, I don't think he ever turned into a wolf in front of you guys.
Yeah, no, he did.
I did.
He did Eyes of the Beast as a wolf. That's why we just saw a wolf's eyes turn blood red, and we're like, oh shit, because he was going to attack. He was going to attack the Baron as a wolf because he changed and was going to attack him. That's why we all got actions.
Okay.
But he will look up and he'll kind of look up and quirk an eyebrow and say, "I beg your pardon, sir. My name is Sir Triori Appaluda. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Who is a good puppy? You are a good puppy."
The dog's all like, yes, I'm the best puppy. But Ash will just kind of shrug and say, I'm Ash.
Ah, yes. Miss Elizabeth has mentioned your name. Who is a good puppy?
I mean,
Sorry.
that's cool for you.
Yes, it is. Allow me to introduce my squire, Olaf von Bargen.
Interesting to meet you, Ash. There's a joke there.
Oh man, I don't know if I should do this joke, but this is Ash. He's that just kind of bitch, so he's gonna look up. Wait, did he say his name was Olaf, right?
Yes.
And Charlie did say it was a squire, so Ash is just gonna look up, and he's just gonna say, "It's nice to meet you, Olaf. I guess that makes you this dude's bitch."
No, not quite.
Triori just smiles, like the smile is really large across his lips as he plays with the dog, knowing that, what is going through Olaf's mind is, puny man, I crush you with hammer. But no. I did have a question. I'm led to understand you like trading answers for answers, Mr. Ash.
I mean, occasionally.
When that stupid child ran away from us and into the woods, all of a sudden there was an ominous mist that seemed to follow the one of us who was giving him kindness. That was him in the mist, or rather he became the mist. Yes.
He'll just lower his mask or the scarf at this point, because I mean, why fuck him up? Y'all are like, oh, you're dead. And so he'll just pull out a cigarette, light it, and start smoking. then he will reply, and say, that's the thing though. I mean, I could answer that, but what would I learn in return?
What would you like to learn?
Well, I already know what you are. I think I know everything I really want to know. I don't have any questions at the moment.
Question: does Ollie do the thing that dogs do where they lie down to get their tummy scratched?
You can tell that Ollie really wants to. Right now, he's just kind of sitting, but he's like, oh no. Oh no, Ash is doing, the thing with people, so just in case, I'm just gonna sit here and not be in, like, a prone position in case shit goes down.
But tummy scratch, it's so delightful. Rory smiles and he says, very well, in that case, how about you may bank a question that I will answer at a later date? That's a very valuable boon.
I mean, you aren't wrong. I suppose so.
Wonderful. We have an accord. So, was that the boy who became the mist, who followed the girl?
Yeah, that was him.
It makes an odd deal of sense. Olaf, it would seem as though the old stories are true. They can become mist. That's one for the books.
Next, I need to know: can they turn into bats? We've seen them turn into wolf, but turn into bats, do not know. Pretty sure I could knock a bat out of the air, though.
The boy I can't remember what he called himself, frankly. He very nearly started a war that night between your kind and mine, Mr. Ash. That was your name. I'm glad he did.
Honestly, wouldn't have surprised me if he did. He's, not the brightest.
Why is Ash suddenly so fucking nasaler?
He's always supposed to be that way. It's just, I have a problem always doing it and switching back and forth, but I'm trying. It's not good, but I'm trying to sound like Bertrand Tongue, and it's not working. So I'm just like, shut up!
I love it.
Yeah, basically this dude sounds like Bertrand Tongue, and I am just not mimicking it very well because Kim can't mimic voices or anything like that for shit.
Is okay. But, So, you are his superior, then? I take it.
Yeah. Yeah. In theory.
I don't know how your society works. I just assume as you're not made of idiotic bits that have been hammered together into a vague person shape, that you are in fact the superior.
I mean, this guy's the low of the totem pole, so everyone in the city, I believe, at the moment is above him.
Oh, I see. Who's a good dog? Yes, you are. You've got such a pretty coat. Yes, you do. Sorry.
By the way, he says he is a very good and pretty dog.
How long have you had him?
About 3 years now.
That's very nice. We should get a dog, Olaf.
I'd rather have something bigger than dog.
A horse?
Was thinking more T-Rex.
Ash is gonna pull the kitten out of his pocket and just kind of hold it up by the scruff of its neck. And it's kind of like a little fluffy cat, and it looks like it's been taken care of very well. Like, it's cleaned and all sorts of stuff. And I'll just say, I found a litter of these things. So if you want a cat,
I will happily accept. Trevor will reach up his hands to take the cat.
yeah, and Ash will just hand it to you.
What color is it?
I can't think of the kind of name to say. You know what? It'll be a fluffy, long-haired orange tabby.
Traori will kind of place the cat, because apparently they're used to it, in his own pocket, where it'll stick out its little cat head, and he'll stroke it, and he'll say, "Thank you very much. What to name it? What to name it? I shall name it Galahad. Seems like a good name for a cat. Terrible name for a knight.
That's because that's the night that gets screwed the most.
You're not wrong. But he's continuing to pet Ollie. Kim, I'm trying to forge a positive connection with your ghoul, just so you know.
It's not gonna stop him from trying to ever eat you if you're gonna try and do some shit.
I know, but I'm just trying to make him like me.
It's not hard. Ash or Ollie is like really nice.
So it's just Ash that's the dick.
Ash ain't even all that bad. Like shit. Okay, let me put it to you this way: when the sorcerers and stuff started throwing around their powers, Ash wasn't the one to roll up on them.
That's fair.
Ash just talks shit. That's all he does. Yeah.
So, I was also led to understand that you were trying to take care of the incident online between two other unfortunate fools.
I do that a lot. You have to be more specific.
The incident at the beer festival.
I'm working on it.
Wonderful. So you are adept with these computers, then?
Yeah, you can say that.
Interesting. Very interesting. You might be able to help me with a project of mine. Though you would be paid, of course.
And that would be?
There was something wrong with the other day. More so than just presence of people who should not have been at the festival. There was something in the drink that was making people hostile and agitated. And as it was sponsored by King's Breweries, I wished to know if they had any idea what it was that was happening to their pundits.
So you're asking me to hack in and see if they understand what their drinks do to people?
Essentially, yes. It was more than just standard alcohol loutism. These people felt genuine rage, genuine anger, and it was manifesting itself. I'm not sure if it was the alcohol, but I would like to rule it out as a possibility.
I'll see what I can do.
What is your standard fee?
You know what? He'll give a no. It'll be a reasonable price that was doubled up. This dude's getting a Ventru price.
Why do I get a Ventru price? God dang it!
'Cause Ash ain't stupid.
So you give, okay, so rather than 10,000, if you're giving me a reasonable price, they're doubling it, so 5,000? That's reasonable.
He's totally doubling it though.
No, I said the reasonable would have been 2,500 and then double it to 5,
Yeah.
but okay. In that case, he'll nod and say, I assume you have bank details where the money can be sent. Offshore account or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Very well. If you send the relevant details to my home, my secretary, my butler will see to them.
I'll make sure to do that, yeah.
Who's a good dog, Ollie? You're a pretty dog. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. If it helps, has Ash uncovered his face, by the way?
Yeah, he did. He was smoking a cigarette.
Triori didn't flinch looking at you. It's just like, oh, that's a face.
I mean, Ash doesn't really care. Like, if they flinch or not, it's no problem of his. If they flinch, they should man up. If they don't flinch, okay, that's cool. I just smoked my cigarette.
But, yes. Your dog has a very sweet disposition.
Thank you.
You must love him very much.
Yeah, I suppose.
You suppose you love?
That's what I said, didn't I?
Oh, yes. So, where is this prodigal son of your kind then?
He's where he needs to be.
Needless to say, we would very much rather in future he not try to assassinate our nobility.
And give him much more credit than he's worth.
He kind of cocks his head to the side and says, "What do you mean?"
Yeah. Sure, he can turn into a wolf and all, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of assassinating that he'll do, ever.
He seemed to be so overcome with rage right before he turned into the animal that I saw murder in his eyes, and I've seen enough people before they kill to know the look.
I have seen in the mirror before killing, and what this look too. Could he have been, how do you say, enraged? Well, I don't know if your people can do that though.
He'll shrug. And say, I mean, yeah, sure, he would have tried to attack. But in all honesty, he's, he'd probably find a bone or something and wander off.
How interesting. Yes. So, Priori stands up and brushes down his lower coat, obviously, because he was kneeling in the grass for quite some time. You know, the dog probably still nuzzling his hand because he's such a good dog. Such a good dog. But he'll stand up and look at Ash. How tall is Ash?
Ash is a pretty tall motherfucker. Ash is like 6'4".
Holy crap. In that case, he'll look up into Ash's eyes because Priori's only about 5'11", 5'10". But he'll say, So, I feel as though, should it be necessary, we should at least have some point of contact between your people and mine. Perhaps you might serve as that go-between.
Sure. Knock on the sewer grate of any manhole cover or sewer grate in Topeka, and I'll get back to you eventually.
I see. So you live in the sewers then?
Yeah, for the most part.
Troy stifles his comment to make it. He was going to make a comment about the smell, but now he chooses not to.
So he doesn't smell all that bad. He could smell worse.
You live in the sewer. There's always going to be a kind of a sewer stank.
I know, but it could be worse.
You don't bathe in the feces. But yeah. He will smile, and he will smile into, looking at Ash before saying, would you like to say goodbye to Galahad? He'll say, holding up the little kitten before they depart.
No, I'm good.
Wonderful. I shall have to get him a saucer and a nice cushion at home.
Wunderbar. Another person living that wanders around the forge.
Triori will offer a deep bow to Ash and say, it has been a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Ash.
I'll do like a deep head nod. He's about to bow. It's like, what is this? 1300s? But Ash will then say, yeah, it was good to meet you too.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Goodbye, Ollie, he will say as he pets the dog again. Puppy!
And Ollie is all like, okay. But he'll actually like lift up a paw and like a bye, because freaking Ash probably told him about tricks, and so he'll just kind of lift up that paw. He can't really wave it, but it's just kind of like up and then down.
Triori will take the paw in midair and shake the paw.
Ollie looks very happy.
Before turning back towards Brain Olaf, and walking back to his papers that he's left kind of on the table or on the bench. I'm happy if the dog takes over the scene.
I need to get stats for this dog. Like, I got the basic stats, but like not gold stats.
You just give him a dot of potence and a dot of another physical discipline as a goal, and he has the large dog stats.
I know what he does, because he's a large dog.
He is a large dog.
He can also have +1 intelligence at some point, bringing him to 1 intelligence.
No, that would bring him to 3 intelligence.
Large dogs intelligence 2.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're not stupid. They're about the average human.
But Triori proceeds to he starts making a sketch of the park on the piece of paper that he has in front of him. And he says, I think the first step, Olaf, in identifying if there is a freehold somewhere in the grounds of this park is to identify artifacts. See where the ley lines run here. See where they intersect. If we can find that, then we can find out if there are any crossed intersections. If that's the case, then I've got it. Brain. Function.
That would, take much time to do on this side. Much faster on the other.
Possibly, but then again, I don't know what exists on the other side of the dream.
That is why we will make expedition to see if we can get to park.
This is not a silly concept.
If we find park has too many things, we use animal to scout. Find
Yeah.
chimerical falcon or something.
Not a bad idea. As I said, I'll need to look at the local maps and see where the ley lines run. If they don't run here, then there's no point in even checking, really. Very well. Kim, do you want to bring in Matt?
And it's not a werewolf, thank you. It's a Kimfolk. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah, she'll just. I don't think she's ever met Triori. She's heard stories. No,
You've met
she did
Triori.
meet Triori. That's
You've met
right.
Triori.
She did.
You're actually my lawyer.
On occasion.
The
And she'll.
lawyer he has on retainer, anyway.
Yep, and she'll just. Sorry, I had to yawn. She'll just limp up there, as always, leaning heavily on her cane. It's very clear that her right leg is fucked.
You see, as I say, you see what you see. You see Traore kneeling down with a bunch of books and scrolls on a park bench, basically, as he and Olaf have this really deep conversation about the local area.
She'll just take a sip of her coffee. No, no, it's totally tea. No, wait, what is this? Okay, so it is coffee. I forgot I put coffee addiction on this character.
It's like the easiest addiction ever.
I mean, yeah. And she'll just stand there and look over at you guys. She won't say anything. She's just looking.
I think someone is watching us.
Traore casually turns from his books and he says, "Good evening. What was I gonna say? Is her name Luri or Lure?
Lurie.
Good evening, Miss Luri.
Good evening.
I trust that you are doing well.
I am. And yourself?
Not terribly, though there are many vexing questions here.
I'm sure.
He will stand and once again brush off his coat before turning. Allow me to introduce you to my. Well, I suppose the great term would be bodyguard, Mr. Olaf von Bonn. Von Button, rather.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well this evening, Mr. Olaf. And yourself?
I would be doing better if I was at Forge. But you wish to look around Park, and Park not very safe place.
No.
She'll nod.
Actually, Miss Lurie, you might be able to help me with this.
She'll arch an eyebrow.
You're an environmental lawyer, correct?
Yes.
Which means you no doubt have up-to-date maps and geological surveys of wildlife surveys of various areas, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. If you could have a number of those copied for this local area and sent to me, particularly any pertaining to this parkland, I would be very grateful.
She'll nod.
Good. Good. I'm going to make an intelligence remembrance roll to see if I can remember the word. It's an obscure word, so I'll put it at difficulty 8. That's a fail. I'm going to re-roll at difficulty 9 with a willpower point. Ah, that is a success. Wonderful. He will look down and he will say, I believe your kind referred to it as a cairn. Yes? That is the word?
Honestly, I don't think she's told anyone that she's kinfolk.
I
Or
met
a
you with
werewolf.
I met you with a werewolf.
Yes.
So he's assuming.
That you are in fact a werewolf too. Which is
Yes.
wrong.
No. You said when we met you with the werewolf that you were like him but not, and that you were safe because I tried to white knight you, if you recall, and you were like, no, I'm safe, I'm good. So he assumes you're something to do with them, if nothing else.
Okay. She'll shrug and say, no, I don't know.
Oh. Well, I believe there is a place of importance to my people here, somewhere hidden in this park. It's been hidden for a very long time. And I'm going to try and find it.
Okay.
Uncovering secrets, etc. Oh, my apologies. He'll clear some of the books and the papers so that there's a space on the bench. If you would like to sit down, I don't know how much you relish standing up.
She'll nod her head in thanks and hobble over there and sit down.
He'll hand you a book and ask you to hold it.
Yeah, she'll hold the book.
Okay. It's a pretty big old leather book. Leather-bound book, rather. But he'll say, yes. It would make sense. I recall that you were here with that boy who you claimed was... Well, he was very young and lacked social graces, but there is another one of them here now, another changer, another werewolf, for lack of a better word. One who has forsaken his tribe and who I think is very dangerous. And I think the reason he is here is because he is looking for the same thing I am looking for, if that makes sense.
Okay.
His head snaps up. My apologies if I'm boring you with random details. However, I just wanted to let you know that this park might not be safe, thus the reason I have Olaf with me.
We saw him today. He did not seem, how do you say, quite sane.
No.
I'm not sure how to put it other than he was off in a way that made me think that he was mad. Also, he wanted to act dangerous and decided to antagonize a troll. Not exactly the brightest thing anyone has done. At least not today. What I am getting at is perhaps your, I don't know if you wish to call him friend, comrade, or whatever. Perhaps he is in need of some kind of help. Otherwise he may find out what large hammers do to soft and squishy skulls.
Do you have a name for this person?
He goes by the name of Justin.
Sneaky fellow. Likes to hide in trees. Not sure why.
He forsook his tribe, or his tribe exiled him, because he was... Damn, what was the term? Troy's head once again looks up from his work and he says, well, out of character, was it eclipse born or something? What was the term that was used? It was a weird word. It was a weird term.
Yeah, it was Eclipse born.
Because he was eclipse born. Not exactly sure what that means, but it appeared to have some great significance to the two shifters, or the two were creatures I met him with. Perhaps you could fill it in, Miss Lurie.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to. I've never heard that term used before.
I see. Well, it's something I do want to... I assume that since werewolves are so inexorably tied to the moon, the question becomes, can they only be born at night? You see him, he stops while he's looking through his books to kind of contemplate that. He then takes out a notebook and appears to jot that down as a thought before replacing the notebook in a pocket and continuing to sort through his papers. One day, Olaf, I'll get a filing system. One day. But, yes. Yeah. Maybe. Possibly. As I said, in order to identify if there is indeed a place of power in this damn park, I need an up-to-date geographical survey to see if there are any of... Well, we would call them fault... You would call them fault lines. We would call them ley lines that traverse this place. Anyway.
She'll just nod.
My apologies if I'm boring you, Miss Lurie.
You're not. I simply have nothing to say. That's fine.
He will stand at this point and start packing away the books and papers back into his satchel before turning to Olaf, and he'll say, very well, Olaf will return back. As I said, I need more information before I can really continue on.
I think you need more than information, especially if this Justin is werewolf. You will need some way to deal with him in a permanent manner, quickly. Hammer is large, but Hammer is made by Vulcan, not by man. We will find a way to kill faster. Research that first.
Yes. I hope you understand, Miss Lurie, that it's not to say we wish to kill this Justin person simply because he exists, but rather if he does pose a threat to our barony, that we will have to intercede.
It was the way that he looked at the little girl, the little rabbit, like he wanted to eat her. That is what causes me distress. Eating our young is not something I wish to see happen, no matter if the young person is rather odd.
If he is a werewolf, They usually don't eat people. There are rules against that.
What would you call us people? That is
Yes.
the question. Because I do not look like a person half the time.
You look like a person to me. Albeit a tall person, but a person nonetheless.
Traori will extend his hand to you and he will say, I could show you what we look like if you'd like.
He'll kind of arch an eyebrow and say, and what do you mean by that?
We are hidden by powerful magics, glamours, that mean we do not appear as we are. I can show you what it is we truly look like, if you wish to see it.
Are there any negative effects?
He contemplates. What would her banality be?
Her banality is 8.
Holy crap! He will say, you will see us, you will understand us, but how much of it you remember is based upon you.
I do not know if she is related to the things that change shape. Perhaps the mist will be kind to her. There's always that could happen.
So he keeps his hand extended and he says, would you like to see?
Fuck it, this character has the overconfidence. Well, she thinks she can deal with everything. She'll take his hand.
Boom, you're enchanted.
Boom! Banality 7.
Hooray! You stop hurting my brain by existing. Or at least you hurt it slightly less. No, I'm a grump, I don't care. But he will say, so basically, as I said, you see both of us in our means. I'm sexy as hell, because for the record, my appearance force spec is sexy. There, by the way, there's a troll.
Ram curved horns, blue. His skin actually looks like it's made of not blue. It looks like it's made of marble. Like that he is a walking, moving statue. He's very statuesque, and he's also 8.5 feet tall. And you see that keeps eating. And you see that he has a very large hammer and what looks like chainmail on.
She'll blink a few times and then kind of lean back onto the onto the bench. Yeah, like the back of the bench and everything. And she'll look over and say, I did not expect this.
Welcome to how we see the world, Miss Slurry.
It's quite colorful.
A huge dragonfly the size of a small cat is currently perching on Traori's shoulder, by the way. And it will kind of buzz over and land on the top of your head.
Oh, what? Sorry?
A huge dragonfly, multicolored dragonfly.
Now you see why I tell you that you may not think that we are human. We are not people like you. Or
She
like
shakes her
the
head.
that walks down the street.
She'll shake her head and say, no. You're still a human. You're still a person.
Thank you, Mr. Green. It is gratifying to always be thought of as people, regardless of if we are human or not. However, may I make a suggestion to you?
She'll arch an eyebrow.
I recommend that before tomorrow dawns, before the light of Helios comes to wash away the night, you record everything you see. Either write it down or make a recording for yourself tomorrow, for I do not know how much of it you will still remember in the light of the sun.
She'll nod.
Good. Good. He kind of bats the dragonfly off your head, by the way.
No, she didn't seem to mind it. She was like, okay.
But he smiles. By the way, what's Matt's appearance?
I mean, like all of my characters, yeah. She's just parents too.
All of your characters are appearance too.
Yeah, like I don't really put much into appearance when I could put it into something useful like manipulation or charisma.
You're not wrong.
I take
You're
it
not
back.
wrong at all.
All of them are 2, except for Ash. I just kind of erased the appearance from his thing, so in socials it's just charisma and manipulation.
What is this appearance nonsense you speak of?
Yeah, I don't have that shit, bitch. It's Nosferatu. Yep, she's just appearance too. So I mean, she's average looking. It's like she's not gonna stand out.
No, I was just curious. He smiles and says, "So, do you wish to see a world that have? Do you wish to see a world that has a number of different possibilities?"
Sure.
He'll extend his hand again.
She'll take it.
He doesn't actually like enchant. He can't enchant. You can't be double enchanted, but he'll kind of he'll help you to your feet because obviously I'm not sure how steady you are on your feet with the cane, so he'll help you to your feet very politely. And we will go on a walk through a park in the Dreaming. Kim, it's like you're having a really, really good acid trip.
Yes.
Look over there. There are some dancing mushrooms.
Do not eat the mushrooms. I found out earlier.
You know what? I'm sorry, just to throw back to another game that I'm in, we have to say that somewhere there is a muffin, and this muffin is an asshole.
What game is that from?
Tim's Sabat game. There was a guy who just went through his chrysalis as we walked into a convenience store, and this guy was talking about dragons flying around everywhere. So some of the players had the bright idea of let's drink them, and so they were enchanted, and there was a dragon flying around. So it was just a couple vampires, and then we see both panders start freaking out because there's a dragon, and we're just kind of like, the fuck? But needless to say, as we were kind of driving away from the convenience store, there was like a bakery, and the bakery appeared as a muffin, and the muffin started throwing mad shade, and it was just shit talking, and so the pander was about to go over there and start shooting the muffin. And everyone else was like, who are you talking to? Don't shoot up a bakery, dude. We're already, like, being hunted by the police. What are you doing?
Okay. But yeah, so you know what, Kim? Fuck it. There is not only a muffin at a muffin kiosk, or where the muffin kiosk should be, that's flipping you the bird right now, but Matt sees a dragon flying overhead. Have fun with that.
He's more interested in the dragon right now.
Which is green. Bum, bum, bum.
It is green, you know.
Why is there a dragon?
Because
What else would we slay? You can't be a dragon killer if you don't kill dragons.
this is where... Okay. He sits you down on a kind of a grassy knoll, and he's still holding your hand. And he says, this is where the dreams of humanity retreated. There was a time when dragons could fly the skies of the real world. But then the dark time of the shattering came. When everything changed. And that forced so many beings that were so beautiful, so colorful, things of human imagination given form and flight, to have to flee from humanity, and now they can only exist within their dreams. But now you're seeing the realm of human dreams.
She nods slightly and is like, okay.
Let's do some sweet, sweet perk empathy on Matt, shall we?
Let's put this another way. You dream of things at night. They do not just disappear into the ether. They come here, they live, they breathe. That includes your nightmares. They are not so fun.
By the way, Kim, 3 successes. What's Matt feeling right now?
I mean, on one hand, she looks like she wants to believe it, but then on the other hand, she's just, it's kind of clear that she thinks she was, like, given some hallucinogen through, like, skin contact.
He'll smile and say, you know, I didn't drug you.
That would be impolite.
He's not wrong.
But he says all these fancy things. The thing you need to really think about when you think about the dreaming is that all the things that have made man come up with great things come from here. Some of them very terrible things, but all of them great. Without this place, man would stop making, would stop doing, and everything would slowly die.
She nods.
Imagine a world that was completely devoid of possibilities. A world completely devoid of imagination. A world where there was nothing but cold, hard reality. Nothing to strive for, no better tomorrows. That is the world without the dreaming. The world without magic.
She'll nod again.
Oh wait, shit. What's your academics on this character?
Asking me all these hard questions, making me open up all these frickin' sheets.
I have my sheet open.
That's good for you, but I don't, because I got other things I'm looking at, like Facebook. She's just got academic 1.
Do you have any occult or anything like that?
Yeah, occult 1, academics 1.
Yeah, that's enough. Actually, no, it's probably not. Basically, as Triori is talking to you, has your character seen Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Yes, and I understand what your character looks like. You say it quite often, so...
I have to say it whenever anyone can see me. But yeah, no, it's literally like you're talking to like the wisest old wizard.
She knows who Merlin is. Like, she's
Oh, okay.
seen,
In that case,
and read the books and stuff. Like, she does read in her spare time.
okay. In that case, it's literally like talking to Merlin.
Doesn't seem to care too much.
To be fair, there is a dragon overhead. I'm completely happy with that causality there.
Yeah.
And down below the grassy knoll, you see the unicorns who are eating grass.
The dragons and unicorns supposed to be like rare or some shit.
It's details.
Unicorns taste like good. Only thing I could say.
Isn't it bad to eat a unicorn or something?
It's just a horse with a horn.
I suppose it's right.
Mayhap I should be more mystified by some of these things. They are just things. Creatures. Meant to be killed, eaten, used, worked. Some of them are mystifying, but very few now.
Okay then. I suppose that's one way to think of it.
It's because I'm old. Much older than I look. I've seen many things, and it takes more than just pretty colors and animals to bring out the enchantment within me.
What does it take then?
That is a secret that I cannot tell you. I'm sorry.
From what I've been told, it isn't like I'm going to remember this tomorrow.
No, you may not, or you may remember everything. I do not know. It is also not my tale to tell. This thing is what happens when we get old.
Not asking for that. I'm just asking what, what's the wonder that you see in the world?
Have you ever seen two boxers spar? Or two fighters fighting?
Yes, very often.
There is a moment when both are in the same time, same place. I don't know how to say this. There's a moment where they are one thing, moving backwards and forwards. That moment is magical. That moment is when two bodies make one in fighting. Now, sometimes they break apart and one falls down dead. Sometimes they touch gloves. But fighting in sports and seeing people strive to do better is what brings me, myself, hope, I guess you would say.
She thinks about that for a little bit, but then finally nods and says, it's a very artistic way to think of something like that.
He smiles. You see Traore smile, and he says, "You have to understand, when you live in a world of whimsy and fantasy, oftentimes the more mundane things become a rare treat.
Okay then.
He stands up and stretches. By the way, in this reality, he's wearing the kind of the black and the white, the black and the silver armor that kind of clicks as he moves, and he says, "I'm wondering though, now that you know this place exists, and you will no doubt write that it does so you'll remember tomorrow. How do you feel?"
I feel fine.
Does the world feel ever so slightly bigger, perhaps?
She'll look over to him and just kind of smile and say, I... A few months ago, I found out that werewolves and all of this were a thing. At this point, adding on different realms and dimensions that are right on top of my reality it's interesting, but I don't think it's ever going to quite shock me as all the horror stories and all the monsters that my dad would tell me about were real. So she'll just shrug.
That is entirely fair.
It was a long time ago that I saw this place, and I agree that after seeing one thing, seeing another isn't so big a thing.
She'll nod and say, I can agree with that.
Triori, now that he's standing up, will extend his hand down again to kind of help you up because you're sitting on the grassy knoll.
Yep, and she looks very appreciative of it.
He will say, "Very well then. I will call Miss Elizabeth, and we will give you a ride home. I have no doubt you probably drove here yourself, but now that you can see things you're not used to, it might not be wise for you to pilot an automobile."
She'll shake her head and say, I can drive back to my home. It's not that far away anyway. I'll be fine. Thank you, though.
If you're certain. Very well then. Olaf, we're going to return back to the manor house. No doubt dinner will be waiting for us, if nothing else.
Probably more things that need our attention. As always, the younglings don't, and the wilders don't want to deal with.
Yes. But then again, if it wasn't for us, I have no doubt the barony would fall in on itself.
That's what grumps are for. I just never thought I'd be one.
Well, most of your kith don't live to be grumps.
This is true. Everyone gets into brawls. Oh, I bet I can rip the dragon's leg off. Oh, I bet I can take the Cyclops' eye. So many brave deeds when you're young. So many dead young.
You're not wrong. But they will walk Matt to the car park anyway, make sure she gets away safely. Triori will smile and say, "I hope that you've seen with eyes unclouded by hate this evening, Miss Laurie."
And why would I see with hate?
He contemplates that for a moment, and he says, "I have found that the human condition is unfortunate. Oftentimes they hate or fear what they do not understand. So, for a person obsessively raised to be a human, it is hard for them to see with eyes unclouded by it."
I suppose that's one way to think of it.
Good evening, Miss Lurie. He will give a polite bow.
And she'll just kind of incline her head because she ain't about to try and bow. She's not, dude. She'll just say, good evening to the both of you. And she'll head off.
Elizabeth comes driving down the road with the convertible because Christ knows we can't fit the troll in the ordinary car. Yes. So you were going to say something?
He does not fit in the convertible very well either.
Yeah, but it's better than the car that has a roof. Anyway, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. This has been another scene from Northeast Kansas. Have a good night.